What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the video, and make sure you leave a comment. Bunch of people are like, damn, bro, when are you going to get a Philly guy on here? When are you going to get a guy on here that's been to prison in PA? So we went out, we got one, and in particular, man, he actually has some connections to PMB Rock, who recently and tragically was killed. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about this brother's experience. But you know what, brother? You tell the people who you are, where you're from, and talk a little bit about you.
How y'all doing? I want to start off by thanking Chad for having me on. I appreciate it. My name's Anwar, but I got a street moniker, like Bam. I'm pretty much known as Bam about the city and places I've traveled. I'm 43 years old. I'm from North. I was born in North Philadelphia, but I moved up the island section of the city where I reside now. I pretty much moved up here maybe like 20 years ago. So I pretty much lived half my life in North Philadelphia and then the other half of my life up here in Ireland where I reside now. Like I said, I'll be 44 at the end of this month, God willing. I had a pretty good life. I can't lie. I can't say that I had a bad life or like a life where, you know, I had to go dumpster diving and stuff like that. Like I had a good life. My father worked. He was a supervisor for the water department. My mother was a homemaker. I lost my father in '09, but you know, I had a good solid dad. He wasn't a street dude. He worked. He taught me the value of a dollar and how to, you know, hold on to your coins and stuff like that. He was a good man. Instilled the good things into me. But I got to be honest, it was something sort of like the Goodfellas thing where, you know, I ain't gonna say I thought the working man was a sucker, but it was kind of boring. And it was like, something about the allure of the streets and the allure, like, you know, the hustlers and the gangsters, man. It was something alluring about that to me. So, you know, once I came of age, I mean, because I was pretty much a good kid up until, you know, like 17 and stuff like that. That's when I started cutting class. I started smoking weed, started hanging with older dudes. For the most part, it was mainly particularly older dudes in my neighborhood. So it was like you hung with older dudes or you was hanging with younger dudes, and that was kind of weird back in the day. So I was running with the older dudes and was kind of influenced by them. They wasn't really in the mix like they're like getting in trouble and stuff like that. So I don't really know where I got that from. I guess I just, like I mentioned earlier to you when we spoke on the phone, I always was curious. Like I always did things and just to see what the result would be. Just I would do stuff just to see what happened. And I was never really scared, like a scary person. I always had like a heart bigger than myself. So that's just how I move. And I don't know. I had it like so just to summarize it real quick, because I know we got a certain amount of time. I had a cool life, but then I came of age and I didn't even say I got with the wrong crowd. I just was attracted to the streets. I was smoking weed. Weed never was, I can't say it was a gateway drug and none of that stuff. I always just stuck to smoking the good weed, the loud or whatever. But I did get into hustling and stuff like that. Like most people from the slums, just to have some, like, you know, some money of your own. Like, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't asking my parents for stuff. They ain't really have it. So I, you know, little jobs, it just wasn't enough. I felt as though. So I took to the streets. I was hustling, got jammed up. I realized that wasn't for me. And then I started doing other things. Like somebody put me on the swiping or whatever. And I kind of got like really into it. You know what I mean? So I just started like just pretty much just going to stores and just taking the money and then just going to a fence and cashing out. You know what I mean? So it was like quick cash. It was like I got used to it. It was easy.
We're going to talk about some more of that stuff in a minute, but I want to talk a little bit about PMB Rock, right? He ends up, I see a video last night. Someone shoots it to me as soon as this happens, right? And I see him there on the ground and blood everywhere. And you see like he wants to get up. You can tell, like, looking at him, I'm like, damn, this dude wants to get up and he can't. Like his body's not responding. He wants to get up and he wants to get away. And I know that you have, you know, a connection to him, right?
Somewhat. My son's mother, that's his aunt. Like that's his sister. His mother and her are sisters. So, yeah.
So really, it's kind of like is like you got kids with her. So is he like their uncle?
It pretty much. Like yeah, exactly.
You know, he's from PA. Where's he from? Is he from Germantown or is he from Philly? Where's he from?
Philly is just a neighborhood in Germantown. You know what I mean?
So Germantown's in Philly, but I want people to know that that aren't from Philly, they're like, oh man, he's from Germantown. He ain't from Philly. He is from Philly. He's just from a neighborhood in Philly, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's out there, his girl ends up posting where they're at, they're eating, and we've seen this, it's happening, brother, where, people are like, man, it's like rappers are being targeted by, number one, prosecutors. Number two, dudes are targeting these dudes because of their jewels, and they're like, man, I'm about to rob this kid, man. And the kid, he has a daughter, doesn't he?
He has a child. I'm not sure, to be honest, I'm not sure if it's a son or a daughter, but I know he has one child. And that is real unfortunate, man, because, dude, he had a promising life. Like, he turned his life around. Like, dude, he been through the ringer. Like, he been in the penitentiary and all that. He did some time in state and all that. But he used that as a stepping stone. Like, he didn't let it hinder him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was pushing forward. He was actually doing something positive. He wasn't in the mix. He was an entertainer. He was a musician.
30 years old, man, his life is cut short. He's laying there in the pool of blood. And somebody has to bury a son now, right?
Absolutely. And they had a couple of years ago, they had some tragedy, still tragedy because he got shot, but they had some tragedy in their family, some gun violence as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's a real blow because it's like they almost lost Lil Nigel. So then it's like Lil Naj do. So it's like, then this happened to Rock. So it's like, that's a real crushing blow to their family. You know what I'm saying? They real tight-knit family. So, my condolences and sincere sympathies out to their family and stuff like that.
Tell the people who Nigel is.
That's their cousin. That's his cousin. That's his first cousin. So that's his aunt's son. You know what I'm saying? Like there's sister's kid.
So he was also shot, and now Rock shot, and he loses his life. I can only imagine what the family's going through, right?
I'm saying, like, yeah, it's a crushing blow to it. And plus, like I had mentioned, they're a tight knit family. You know what I'm saying? How some people just, oh, that's my cousin, but I see him when I see him type, or family. Like, these people, they're a tight knit family. Like, they interact with each other on a daily basis. Like, they close. You know what I'm saying? So this is, they don't have, their family's not predominantly men. It's a lot of females in their family. So it's like, it's probably more of, not probably, I'm sure it's more of a blow. Because, we need men. We need fathers. He was a father. He was somebody's son. He was somebody's uncle. You know what I mean? Let
me ask you this, right? You say they're, a tight-knit family. He started getting some real money. Was he looking out for the family?
I never heard nobody say nothing bad about it. So it's like, I can't sit here and say, oh no, I remember he took it. Like, from what I understand, they love him to death. They love him to death. You know what I'm saying? You see him with their pictures. He's real friendly, real interactive with his fans. He definitely show love to his family. Absolutely.
And Philly, we know Philly's a dangerous place, man. Things happen over there. I've been in prison with, I had mentioned Shake earlier. He was 16, caught that case, ends up with a life sentence. His co-defendant was on death row. You guys ended up getting that new prosecutor down there. And the kid got off death row. He actually ended up getting a new sentence, came to the feds to finish his federal sentence, and he's out in the street now. But when you're out there in Philly and you're growing up, man, tell the people what it's like there in Philly.
I mean, I've been off from North. I don't mean to sound geographical, but like, most men are by nature. My neighborhood, it's North Philly, so we always say I'm from where it's cold at. From where it's cold at, because it's cold. Them streets always were cold, like the North Pole, so it kind of made sense, the scenario, the comparison or whatever. But yeah, it's hard. It's a hard city. You gotta have thick skin. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta have thick skin because it's. I mean, I like where I come from, the time and era that I hail from. Like, we pretty much like the same age, Chad. So I'll be 44, God willing, in a couple of weeks. But I grew up seeing real stuff, men on men time. That's why when you say, men respect men, I'll always push that envelope because that's the truth. And that's what I grew up. I come up under the iron fist. It's not like these kids today, senseless murders. I always talk about it, man. It's senseless. And they're murders. They're not killers. They're murderers. Like, they run around, shoot like you ain't even looking. It's terrible, man. They don't have no respect for their elders and none of that stuff, man. Like, you had to, years ago, you wouldn't have to tell people, put that L down, man. Miss such and such walking by. Yo, what you doing, man? Grab a bag. You didn't have to, these were things you didn't have to make, you didn't have to make mention of. Like, you just did it. It was just part of you. It was like.
So really the whole respect thing, right? Like, I say this often. When I went to prison, people used to shoot you at night. I live in a dangerous neighborhood, but now they'll shoot you in the middle of the day. Now they don't care about the kids walking to school. They don't care about, it's like the respect just went out the window. And I know in Philly, like I said, it's a dangerous place. I was with Shake and them. Shake's our age. I know that they had a shootout and some people ended up dying in that case, and that's why he ended up with a life sentence. But I mean, there are territorial wars over there. But when you get to prison, let me ask you this first, right? There are territorial wars in Philadelphia over, blocks and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, because it's like that. And it's funny because I remember I was saying one time, it's not cars in the penitentiary, in the state penitentiary, but I thought about it, it is. It's like neighborhood cars. It's like, the Southwest Bulls will be all over there, North will be over here, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it is cars.
So dudes could be beefing with each other in Philly, but then when you get to prison in Philly, do the Philly guys come together? Let's say you're beefing with some Pittsburgh dudes. Do all the Philly guys come together?
Absolutely.
So let's say this, right? And this is what I can't understand, and I want some young dudes that are watching this show to understand this, right? If we could come to prison, because if you're from Rochester and you go to state prison, we're like a gang. It don't matter if you're white, black, whatever. We gravitate together and we're our own group. You got the Buffalo dudes, you got the New York City, you got the Brooklyn dudes, you got the Bloods, but Rochester's like a gang. We come together, right? And I find it mind-boggling that dudes could be in Philly killing each other. They could be in Rochester killing each other. Yet when we get to prison, all that stuff's out the window and now we're cool, man. You're from the town, what's up? Yeah, you know what it is. But yet we're out here killing each other. How mind-boggling is that to you?
It's terrible, man. It's disgusting, man. The way things are right now, man, it's trifling, man. Just the way people, it's no value for life. People worried about the wrong stuff. I feel like people got a mind full of the wrong information. Like people got, they downloaded the wrong link. Like they tapped the wrong link. Like, you know what I'm saying? People worried about the wrong stuff, man. They got the wrong thoughts in their head, man. It's terrible. And it's like, people got to make a change. We got to break the cycle, man. Because it's like, there aren't any leaders or role models, if you will. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Like, the ones that are, it's like, it's in the wrong lighting. It's like they're not the right kind of role model.
Let's talk a little bit about this too, right? You're from Philly. Dudes in Philly get busy. Known for getting busy. So, we're getting these rappers that are out of towners, right? And they're going to California. We had the incident with Sauce Walker where, from what I've read, dude tries to rob him, whatever. He fights back a little bit. Dude gets away. The robber takes off. And then he sees another dude with some jewels and he's at him. He's at him with yo, what's up? He ends up fighting with the dude, whatever, and he kills the dude and he runs away. So the dude that tried to rob Sauce Walker ends up robbing someone else. And then, he takes off after he kills the dude. And now, we got your people, Rock, Rock's over there. He's in Cali. Dudes want to rob him for his jewels, and now he's dead. Do you think rappers are being targeted?
I think anybody that has what people may consider to be any kind of affiliation with anything that they're against, or they not feeling or whatever the case, then they're considered an op to them. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I notice it's not really any, more importantly, self-love, but it's like, it's really no love no more. Like, you used to be able to walk through the streets and they'd be cold and mean and harsh, but it was because it had to be. It was warranted. Now it's like, it's really no love. It's like, and if it is love, it's fake love. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's more people pushing the hatred envelope out there, man. It's like people with their acts of violence. It's like this. It's like that's they making it like it's a trend. Like you got to go out there and get a body to be thorough or something like that. Like I don't know who told them that's thorough. Like being on the run and facing 1,000,000 years. I don't know what's thorough about that.
That brings me to my next point, right? I don't think these dudes are thinking about the consequences. And you're like, number one, I got to show people that I'm thorough. But when you kill a dude and they catch you, you're going to prison for, 25, 30 years, 25 to life in New York. If you blow trial, if you cop out, 20 to life, possibly 37 because they're going to charge you with the gun, 37 years to life. So all that thorough shit's out the window because now your ass is sitting in prison calling your mother for commissary money. And on the flip side, some of these dudes are like, yo, look, this dude's got $100,000 worth of jewels on. I'm about to rob him. But think in your mind, right? Because there's a young man out here watching the show. I want him to think about this. Right now, if you're thinking like, damn, man, old girl just posted dude on Instagram. I'm about to go over there. I'm about to get this kid. I'm about to yak this fool, right? And when you get there, you rob this dude for his jewels. You take off. You end up killing him. What are you really getting, man? What are you really getting? $100,000 in jewelry. You got to go sell it. You're not getting probably what it's worth. And you know what? Eventually, they're probably going to catch you, man. And when they catch your ass, it's all over with anyway. So you did it all for nothing. I heard this, I heard a comedian back in the day, and I don't mean to take away from you, but I think it's an important point. where he said, man, I'm so broke. And he was joking. He said, but if you rob me, you ain't doing nothing but practicing. And really, these boys don't realize when you're out here robbing these dudes, right? All you're doing is practicing. Because what's going to happen is your ass going to end up in jail, and the little bit of money that you might make off the jewelry before they catch you, it's all gone. What did you buy with it? How did it better your life? It bettered your life for the moment. You were able to go buy a car and buy some food and buy your own little necklace. But what did you really profit? You lost so much to profit little.
Nothing to wait for lawyer fees. Pardon me for cutting you off. Nothing to wait for lawyer fees. So you're sitting in there, now you writing everybody in the world a letter that you was like, you ain't messing with F them. You know, you was running around, you thought you were getting money. As soon as you get in the box, you writing them, you crying, P.S., send me $20 for Raymond Soup. You out of pocket, man. People out of pocket, man.
Did you know Rock when he was a little kid?
No, I didn't. I can't say that I did. I mean, I more than likely seen him in traffic because he has been in the circuit of the music for some years. And like I said, I mentioned I sent you a little message. I was in the music industry as well once upon a time, so I had a little bit of notoriety with that. Once upon a time, I was in a group called Ice City with Freeway and Petey Crack, so we had a little buzz. But I kept getting jammed up going to the penitentiary.
So let me ask you that: you kept going to prison, but you had this music career going, but the struggles were real. You didn't have much money in your pocket, but you're involved in this, so you're like, damn, I got to turn back to crime. And eventually, man, you end up in prison. Do you think that derailed your music career?
It did, absolutely. I gotta be totally honest, because before I fell in '98, and when I fell, it was Philly was a scene. It was really a popping scene for artists. It was people from Philadelphia were sought after, just like how fighters from Philly are sought after, just the same way in the late '90s. Well, up until the late '90s, Philly artists were sought after, and it was I was kind of next up. It was a little line, but it wasn't a long line. I could see me at the door. You know what I'm saying? I had my foot all the way in it. I've been on tours. I was part of, Free's entourage when our little thing didn't work. He proceeded on with Rockefeller and all that stuff. And I always wished him well. It's my friend, my brother. But yeah, definitely crime and. The way I was living my life and I wasn't being patient and making proper decisions got me jammed up. And it's if I would have just sat there and just been writing and just going to the studio, But, my aunt was my uncle,
Yeah, no, I hear you. My aunt was my uncle. I remember that back in the day. People used to say that joking and playing. But what's that prison like, man, in PA? What are prisons like there?
I mean, for the most part, they got... From what I understand, from obviously it's different levels. I only been to max joint, so it's I don't, if I was supposed to pack a double mint, I'm going to a 4-yard because that's just my jacket, my points and stuff. But they real serious Jones because the type of people, the caliber of dudes that's in them Jones. You know what I'm saying? It's and then most of the people I was away with, they were stretched out, so they had 100 more years left, and they've been down a dub. So it's you know what I'm saying, to where, you first come in, you get a fresh pair of Cocoa Browns when you hit Gratified, you know what I'm saying? And, you got that same set of Browns throughout your whole career in the joint. So it's you start seeing, a dude been down a long time when they Browns, it's a salmon color. You know what I'm saying? It's a pink color. Dude's got an A number, been down 30-something years, you know what I mean? Them Jones are serious Jones, they dangerous, you know what I'm saying? They definitely dangerous.
Maximum, go ahead.
Color coded. That's one thing I wanted to mention. It ain't no, men respect men. All that over, the white boys over, no, that's no disrespect to the federal penal system, but that's not a state system and PA thing. You know what I'm saying? Men respect men. You know what I'm saying? If your jacket ain't messed up and you're a good person, you're gonna be accepted on any compound, any yard. I feel it though.
So a white dude from North Philly, man, he grew up with you guys. He's he's just all the way in. Yo, what's up? Nah, he's from. We all grew up with this kid. We got his back.
The gentleman that I grew up with that are Caucasian, they rock just like you, Chad. Solid, stand 10 toes, about family. They got hands. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause they grew up hard. You know what I'm saying? They white and black neighborhoods, people thought they were soft. They had to put their mitts on. You understand what I'm saying?
That's one thing I used to say, man. When you get to that prison, boy, you got to check that gun in. And if you ain't got these, boy, you're in you.
Man, they check through guns at the door. That's one of the things I loved about. I mean, I ain't gonna say I love nothing about prison, but that's one of the things I love. You ain't gotta worry about a dude blowing your brains out. Because it's like with them bangers and all that, them bone crack, you only get a couple swings. Then you got to deal with one of these overhand right. You understand what I'm saying?
A lot of you guys are fighters, man. David Reed's from over there. He fought one of my close friends, man, that I used to box with, Robert Push-Up Frazier. You guys got a lot of fighters from there, so I know that your hand game's good.
Absolutely, man. We grew up in gyms, man. It was gyms on every corner once upon a time. Now it's, through time, now it's a liquor store. It's got some tomfoolery on every corner. You know what I mean? But it used to be
that. Go ahead.
Have stuff for the kids to do. Is none of that no more, man. Terrible.
That's the one thing that we don't realize, man. We're destroying our own communities, destroying our own people, and eventually it's going to be crumbs. There's going to be nothing left if we keep doing this. And like I said, man, if you can go to prison and we're like this, right? And I'm going out for my homeboy, whatever. If we got to kill a dude in here, we're going to kill him, right? And you got that type of mentality in prison, but yet we're in the street killing each other. It makes no sense. I want to talk a little bit more about them prisons in Pennsylvania. Just saying, oh yeah, it's serious. I mean, what's some of the worst things that you've seen over there?
To be totally honest, man, for the most part, in the state penitentiaries that I've been into, now mind you, they all was fours. I was at Huntington. That's one of the oldest penitentiaries in Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying? I was there when Norman Johnson escaped. Nobody never escaped Huntington. You know what I'm saying? Norm Dip. They made a movie about it, like the Johnston brothers. They was the guys that in upstate Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania. They was stealing farm equipment and all that stuff, and then they started, doing things, and they wound up catching a couple bodies in the process, whatever the case may be. But they all wound up getting double and triple life sentences. Norm was I was at the jail with Norm. They was been up there, but he got up out of that joint. You know what I mean? He had some coins, and what happened was when he escaped, he went to where he had thought he had money buried, but he'd been down 23 years. So when he got to the place where the bread was, they done built the whole strip mall over top of it. So he frantic, he running around. He didn't know nothing about driving and nothing. That's like, cars was, you put the gas. He was used to putting the gas and flipping the license plate down and putting the gas in there. Norm been down a long time, especially then. And in 99, we talking about 99 when he escaped. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's been down a long time, so he didn't know. Long story short, he get caught. He was in somebody catch him in this lady came in her backyard, not far from the penitentiary. He got caught up there by Lewisburg. Lewisburg is right near, Huntington is all right near there, all in the same area. The lady noticed that her dog was barking at her dog house. She like, what the hell's going on? So she thinking it's like a fox or a possum or something. She go back there with a shotgun. He came right out. Miss, look, I'm Norman Johnson. I don't want no trouble. I ain't coming to bring you no harm. If you're going to call the people, call the people. You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure he probably didn't say that, but that's pretty much how he gave up because he was tired of running. He went to the bread. They wanted no more bread. All his walkies and all them, they did or they booked. So he was done. He like, man. Then I remember they interviewed, they was going to bring him back to Huntington, but it wasn't no Supermaxes in Huntington. Outside of, it wasn't a security level higher than like Huntington and, Rockview and them type of old jails. So it was like, they wound up opening Greene County, SCI Greene. That's Pennsylvania's Supermax for the state penitentiary. So because all the death row guys was at my jail, they Huntington, they shipped them boys out when they opened Greene County. They sent all them boys over there. So it was dangerous, John.
I want to ask you about the dangerousness over there, right? And the things that you've seen. I want to bring you back to that. What are some of the most gruesome things that you've seen in a prison over there?
Oh, okay. I wound up getting derailed. I don't know how. I was just leaving my mind thinking a lot of thoughts. And then it's taking me to some places. They ain't really dark those because it was experiences. I gotta be honest. Stuff that was happening to people. Either they wasn't built like that and it happened and that's just part of jail, or how it goes, Chad. You did a bunch of ticks, so you know how it go. But the most gruesome thing that I knew about, that I was walking through, and then I knew that that's what it was, and I can't say I've seen, because one thing about serious penitentiaries, man, all that walking down the tier and all that, man, walking down the range, you looking at all the people's apartment and all that, you couldn't do that at none of the joints I was at. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, you could have been in that joint doing anything. I don't know, but it's like, I know what I heard, and it's like, just some of the fragrances and all that was coming through that through that block. Like C block was kind of messed up. Like that's where medical was at. But there was a lot of, shot out boys over there, bandits and such, you know what I'm saying? So it was a crazy joint, man. Like, and then one thing about hunting, it was dangerous, man, because there was a lot of chicken hawks in that joint. And it wasn't really no young boys in there when I went through there, man. I was one of the, so that's why I get right on the bar. I can rip up, hey, where they training at? You know what I'm saying? I already had hands, but I wanted it to be known, like, oh, y'all got hands. Like, you only gonna get a couple swings on the bone crushers and I'm gonna knock you out. Because you ain't gonna jump on me. You know what I'm saying? Had your way with me, you got to kill me and do all that stuff post-mortem. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody taking, you know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
So,
tell the people what a chicken hawk is then.
Oh, that don't really know jail terminology, which you shouldn't know because it ain't nothing to know. But I mean, since you're watching this channel and they got something to do with it, I guess, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna let the people know. We all know. A chicken hawk is an older convict that preys on an individual. He might think it's green. He might deem him to be green, or he might deem him to be sweet, or he just a straight up, because in PA, years ago, we had some dudes that was like, they was hardcore bandits. Like, they knock you out and take that joint. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. PA penitentiary, man, like the level 4 Jones, like, 100 in the Jones, other dangerous Jones, man, because like the caliber of dudes, like some of these people jackets, like the charges, like it was people that, was involved in crazy stuff. Like this one dude, and it's like, this why I always say, like, people that's really dangerous is gentleness, man. You'll never really know unless somebody told you about their case. You know what I'm saying? I was picking with people that, they got the clippings of these people. Like these people was in the paper, man. Like this one particular gentleman from Pittsburgh, he had chopped the dude's head off, and then when the cops came, he was playing basketball with the boy's head.
Damn.
And that's no cat. Like I don't shoot from the hip. I wouldn't just jump on here. This is real rap. Like it's some dangerous shout out people in the world, man. I was away with a lot of them dudes, man. So it's like, I come out here and see how it's like there's no respect out here. Like I was, had respect and was respecting, serious people. So when I come out here and see how people running around out here, like they killers, like, man, I was just around the killers, like y'all getting senseless murders, and it's like y'all clowns. So it's like y'all killing us. Like y'all killing us. And when I say us, I mean humans. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't do that. Right? Like you see, I'm light. You know what I'm saying? Like slave masters had their way with my folks years ago. So I can't do the one or I'm on. Don't get me wrong. I'm pro black, but I'm also pro person, man. Like good people. Like to me, it's only two types, man. It's either like you all right or you ain't all right. And if you're not all right, that's cool. Like as long as you're doing your not all right thing over there, and it's not involving me, it's cool because I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? I respect the laws of the land. And I try to take care and protect and provide for my family. And I think that's what a man is. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't taking care of your family, man, all that riding around with this and that, you shining and all that, you're not really shining. You're above. You know what I'm saying? Take care of your family.
No doubt.
And that's my goal is right.
I respect that, man. I respect what you got to say. When you talked to me, you talked a little bit about the struggles, man. Now that you've been out of prison, and sometimes you struggle to stay free. Let's talk a little bit about that. Tell me what you were talking about.
Well, just to be like painfully honest with you, like I usually am, for some reason, like I feel like it's a laziness because I feel like I'd rather, like, I know what the proper route is, and it's like I do have a job. I'm a chef. I cook, but it's like sometimes I just don't go to work because I'll be looking at it like, man, I could have made more money in the street than being there. 10 hours. I'm sweating my behind off, and it's like you know what I'm saying? It's like I feel like I'm not, appreciated for what I'm bringing to the table because I cook my heart out. I'm passionate about it. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not getting the coins to match what I'm bringing to the table. So it's like I just be like, stop going to work. Like they don't fire me because they respect my hand, and it's like I am really good enough to toot my own horn, blow my own horn, but I'm good because I care about it. Like when I cook, I cook so when the people eat the food, they enjoy it and they smile and they having a good time and they laugh. If you cook food and people get the food and they, people looking grumpy and all that, it wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want that plate to look like it went through the dishwasher already. You know what I mean? And that's how that's the passion I bring to the table with the cooking thing. So it's like until I get my own job, I just been like still in the street, like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's corny, but it's just the truth.
Listen, man, it's not really corny. It's real, right? It's real and it's raw. There's dudes that are getting out of prison And it's a struggle out here to say, hey, man, I'm going to work for these people. I'm making $400 or $500 a week or $700 or $350. I had a friend that told me, man, I'm making $350 a week. He quit his job. He said, man, I can make more money in the street. There's people in my city, they get their food stamps, they buy food, and they're selling food out of their house. That's why they don't want no job. They're flipping their food stamps, and they got their own little restaurant pumping out of their house. So it is a struggle to go out there and go to work every day, and you're like, damn, man, the rat race. You know, you're making your paycheck, you're paying your bills, and now, man, you're broke again. So I understand the struggle, brother.
Yeah, let me make mention of this, though, please. The brothers that I know that's coming home from doing stretches, you know, because most of I'm the only one that was, like, short out of my little jail career. I probably got, like, 11 in. Most of my folks, though, they come home from dubs, straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, that's the lowest. You know, dudes come home 20, 30. They get, you know, fast, they get about 30. That's what they be giving out, like, on the, you know what I mean, from what I understand. So, the dudes I know that's come home from the stretch, they come home and take off. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you doing, Chad? You came home and take off. You came home and took off. You ain't come out here with had no beggars cup and all that. You came home and put the work in. You know what I'm saying? You shining. You riding around how you want to ride around. You know what I'm saying? You got a beautiful home, a beautiful family. You know what I'm saying? You're doing the right thing. You ain't got to look over your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? When you go to sleep, you sleeping good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't worrisome. You don't got no bags on it. Like, you work your ass off when you be tired, but ain't no bags under your eye. You know what I'm saying? Like, you sleeping good. You getting good rest. That's good rest. You ain't in the street. Like, that street rest, it ain't no rest. You take cat naps in the street.
I mean, that's real, right? You spent nearly 11 years of your life in prison. Life out here is a struggle. It's real. I want to see you keep pushing forward. Maybe you need 2 jobs. You got to stack some bread from the one job, man. Put something together, man, and put a hot dog cart together. 1 turns into 2, 2 turns into 4, 4 turns into 8. Now you're the boss. And I know that it's hard to stack money if you just got a regular ass job. But, man, you know what? I had a plan, man. And I had different plans. And if this plan didn't work out, I knew I was going to work 2 jobs. I knew I was going to probably try to get a hot dog cart. That's why I always mention that. You know, you just got to stay focused. I was going to work 1 job to pay my bills, the other job to save my money, man. And in 2 years, I'm going to have enough money to get me a hot dog cart and put a business together. And I was going to work it Friday, Saturday, Sundays. And then eventually, if that worked out, I'm going to get me another one, get me some employees, and push forward, bro. And that's what you need to do. And that's what young brothers listening need to do. You know, if you're a hustler, then you're a hustler, bro. Whether you're selling hot dogs or cars or, you know, whatever, pizza, whatever you're doing, man, if it's in you, man. And you just got to reach deep inside and be like, yo, I'm going to do this. My homeboy, man, I'm going to mention him. He got out of prison because I want this to be a teachable moment for people watching. He's like, yo, man, he got out on the CARES Act. Really, he's like at the halfway house. They could revoke him at any moment. He reached out to me, hey, can I borrow some money? I'm putting this restaurant together called A New Soul. I helped him out. I helped him get a business started. And it's been a struggle for him, but guess what? I think it's starting to work out. It's starting to pan out. Other people have come in to help him. And you know what? He's got to stay the course, and you have to stay the course, and you can make it happen, bro. Do you feel that way?
Oh, that brother's keeping his best foot forward. You know what I mean? And God bless him. That's what it's about, man. Just keeping your best foot forward and just apply. It's all about application. Like, I always had good intentions throughout life, but I just was lacking days ago in applying it. And that's why, you know, things turned out the way they turned out. But I do got a quick message, Chad. I don't know if it was, you know, the message that you may have been looking for, you wanted from me, but my message is to the kids. Like, if you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, like, don't put no pressure on it, but, like, definitely try to have some choices. You know what I mean? Make some choices. Try to get an idea of the direction that you want your life to go in from young. Because, like, that, I got to be honest, that's one of my downfalls. Or one of I guess you could word it as a downfall. For lack of better terms, let's say downfall, because not knowing what I wanted to be when I grew up, I didn't have nothing to aspire for, like, or anything to, like, dream for. Like, I wasn't a dreamer. I wasn't one of them, like, when they used to ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would always be like, you know, go to the next, you know, ask the barber, or go to the next person. Like, I really never wanted, and it's like, it came to a point where I would just blurt out anything, because I was just always, just nah. I was like, I want to be a fireman. I never said I want to be a cop, but I always want to just be stuff. But it's like, at the same time, though, not to take that away from them, because guess what? That job, you know, you get benefits and stuff like that. You take care of your family. It's legitimate work. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's really all about, man. Having legitimate work. That's my problem. Like, I choose the street, like, the quick way, knowing where that's going to take me. Like, it's like, you know, that, look, this ain't right. Like, everything is usually right. And you take a left, it's like, it ain't, I know left is the wrong way, but I'm still going that way. That's insanity. Like, you keep doing nut stuff thinking something decent going to happen.
I hear you. You know, when you talk about the cops, you know, before we get ready to go, I'm going to say this. I say this all the time. I don't hate the police because of the police. I dislike the police that go out of their way to do bullshit, right? You know, and there are a bunch of them that do some bullshit. You know, killing people, searching people, unjustified. And, you know, they use that thing to do what they want to do. But I think the message today is, look, man, find a dream and realize that you can achieve it. Don't think that, man, that's my dream, but I can't never get it. No, you just got to run faster and you can catch it, brother. I think that's the message today. You don't want to be a 30-year-old man. You know, you're getting money. You're in a dangerous chicken place eating where you probably should know that it's dangerous over here, that, you know, this stuff's been happening over here, and you lose your life at 30 years old, man. When I seen that kid laying on the ground, it affected me, bro. And I've seen a lot of stuff, man. And that had a profound effect on me, maybe more than anything I ever seen personally in prison, because I looked at his face, and I knew he was trying to get off the ground, man. And I felt like his body wasn't doing what his brain was telling him, like, yo, I need help. I want to get up. But listen, bro, I'm going to close the show, man, let you know that I appreciate you for coming on, sharing your story, sharing your experience. And I want to see you keep pushing, man, because I want to see you achieve the things that you want, the things that you deserve. And most of all, I want to see you to continue to be a good father, man. All right?
Really, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to close the show. Tell people, man, if you like it, man, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the video. Every video ain't a gangster video, man. Sometimes it's a teachable moment. And I hope today, man, that some young dude's watching this and he realizes, man, I ain't trying to rob nobody for no $100,000 worth of jewelry. It seems like a lot of money now, but when you're doing 25 years, it ain't nothing but pennies, man. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, with respect, we're out.